2021 is coming to a close, and with that, the reviewers all over the internet start releasing their best and worst lists of the year. And because I did a best songs and best albums of 2020, I thought I would continue forth and bring you guys another year-end list. Speaking of those, I just want to say that I have no fucking clue what crack I was smoking to snub out Need to Know and Pink Elephant to The Weeknd. I like Heartless and After Hours, they're good, but Need to Know should have easily been the number one song of 2020, given how I listened to it so much when I first heard it, and had it constantly stuck in my head. And then Pink Elephant was easily, without a doubt, the best album of 2020. I have no idea what convinced me to think that After Hours was better, because it is not. My new updated list for that year is pretty much the same, only Heartless is at 6th place, and After Hours is at 4th place. With all that out of the way, I'm not going to do any top 10 shit, because I just feel like that limits me. Also, did not listen to many albums this year, so you're only going to be getting songs. And also, I decided to go for straight songs and not just singles. With that being said, we have 13 of them this year and no time to waste. So without further ado, here are my 13 favorite songs from 2021.
Number 13, Oops.
So hopefully in 2021, we all know about the music streaming platform Spotify and how fucking annoying they are with their advertising. If you use the free version, then you're guaranteed to get 7 ads after about every other song, and 5 of them are going to be about Spotify Premium. But one day, while I was trying to listen to music, I got interrupted with an ad. But it wasn't just any normal Spotify ad. This one was a song. And it was a very interesting one. I'm not entirely sure what it was about the song that intrigued me at first. I just know that I heard a banger and could not stop listening to it for a good amount of time. Weapon wastes none of your time and just hits you with a snare and then a truck. Chrissy rides all over this heavy instrumental with infectious vocal melodies that really complements with her accent. I even like the breakdown around the 3rd act of the song, where the only thing keeping the beat are these hand claps, and then out of nowhere there's just I'm not sure what to call it other than a stomp clap. There's just something about it that feels unnatural given the genre. I think it's because a similar sound is found in Simon Servita's first drum kit, and that was a kit mainly for hip-hop. Not saying the hand claps are an exclusively hip-hop thing, but just that it sounds really interesting to me. And not only is the song a banger from front to back, it's also a pretty relatable one at that, with lyrics about fighting a mental battle with yourself, where you are the weapon that's destroying your life. Well, I personally never really related to the song, because I could never make out entirely what Chrissy was singing. It's a pretty nice layer to such a fun song.
Number 12, Russian Truckers vs. Highway Bandits.
In 2021, I played a certain video game that really made a massive impact on me. A game that put me through a lot of different emotions, and while playing through it was one of the best times I've ever had in my entire life. A time that I wish I can go back to and be able to re-experience this game for all the great experiences I had throughout my initial playthrough. A game that I feel like helped me bond closer with a friend. A game that, by the time I was finished with, I knew it was on my list of favorite games of all time. A game that also has a very impeccable soundtrack. You didn't think I would make a whole ass review of this game and where one of the topics was about the soundtrack alone and not include one of the songs on this list, did you? Speaking of that review, though, I do need to mention that I apparently found that really good crack again, because I went on record saying that Morgan Laurie was better than Jessie than Amanda Burning, and I deeply apologize for that blasphemous statement and would like to formally retract it. With that out of the way, let's talk about the song I decided to choose off the soundtrack, because some of you might have thought that if there would be any song that I would have picked from this game to be on my favorite songs of the year, it would be the strip club music. Given how I liked it so much, I rapped over it.
I'm come for your neck in the fucking check, cause your boy don't take no disrespect. You can suck my dick if you wanna bet that it won't mean you view me as a fucking threat.
But as much as I love a lot from the soundtrack, the party remix of the main theme found only as a bonus track, to which I had to buy the album off of Steam in order to listen to it, making that be the first time I've ever paid for music in my entire life, is an absolute earworm that I guarantee you, if I owned it on a cassette tape, that motherfucker would be worn out to shit that it would sound like the sonic form of molasses if you tried to play it. Now, it's probably weird that the song is found at number 12 if I loved it so much to listen to it all the time, but that's the thing. I listen to the song so much that the enjoyment I initially had for it has died down quite a bit. But it is a song I played a lot, so it deserves to be here on the list. What got me to like this version of the theme more than the original is honestly just the synth melody being pitched down. I mean, my secret trick to my music is just pitching down every melody I come up with or obtain by 3 semitones, because I just find that that's the sweet spot that really adds a nice flavor to whatever you have, and that seems to be what Jonathan did on here. Not only has he added these extra bouncy synths to house the synth melody, and during the breaks used tropical island instruments to really have this song keep the feel of staying at a tropical resort, but the repitched synth just adds a whole new flavor to the melody that I can't get enough of. There is a reason why this is called a party mix, because it absolutely bangs, and if I was given the grace of God to be handed the aux cord at a party, I would 100% throw this one on in a heartbeat. This is some good shit, and I look forward to hopefully receiving a third Honey Pop game, and along with it gaining a new batch of material that honestly has absolutely no fucking reason to be as good as it is for a fucking hentai game.
Number 11, Your Father Will Die.
Last year I released, I guess, basically my debut album, Laban, and one of the songs from that project, and one of my personal favorites, was a song called Bad Decisions, which was inspired by the bad decisions that I would make really late at night. Yeah, well, this one's better. Gonna be real with you. I cannot remember where the hell I found this song. The closest story that I could figure out is that a friend of mine and frequent collaborator on this channel sent me the song, and then I listened to it, liked it, and put it in my playlist. But the thing is, I don't remember listening to it, and one day I was just scrolling through my playlist and it started playing, and I was like, damn, this is kind of a banger, and sent it to him to have him listen to it. Nonetheless, Red Hook comes in with their first single of 2021 with an absolute relatable heavy hitter about being an incredible fuck-up. And while I can't relate to having sex, let alone an orgy, or being in debt, I can definitely relate to being angry and depressed and making bad decisions. I even especially love this line.
These bad decisions haunt me, but they make good stories.
I'm entering my 20s soon, and it's making me scared, because that's the year where you have the most stories, and I'm living in a rut, so I will happily take all the bad decisions in the world. I honestly really can't think of much to talk about when it comes to it. The instrumental is pretty basic, there's nothing insanely impressive about Emmy's performance. I actually liked her performance more on Dead Walk, which was a previous song released before this one. But it's just an overall pretty quick and fun song.
Number 10, Losing My Religion.
This next song might be both a surprise and an expected placement given some of my background music choices, but then again, this genre pretty much all sounds the same, so how could you possibly put a song from it on a best of list? Well, when it comes to my taste in music, let's just say there's a lot to be desired. God, that was fucking terrible. So how the hell did a Future Funk song end up on this list? Wouldn't any song from that genre be a hard pick, or at the very most just not worth it? Because, I mean, let's be honest, 99% of Future Funk sounds the same, hence why my playlist of it is the only one where I use Spotify's recommended feature. Well, my love for the Future Funk genre came about in around 2016-2017 when I was getting into that vaporwave aesthetic while simultaneously being really into Fallout 4. So naturally, I came across a mod that had a good amount of Future Funk and vaporwave songs available as a radio station. And while Desired only appeared twice in that mod, it was still the gateway into this 90s anime and 80s aesthetical drug that I eventually decided to OD on, which resulted in a growing 48-track playlist, where Desired is the artist with the most amount of songs in it, clocking at around 17. Timeless being really the only album that I've come close to listening all the way through includes probably my favorite Future Funk songs of all time, Wake Up and Lost, with Wake Up being something I played a lot last year, and Lost having just the absolute wall of hyped up vibes. So if there was ever going to be a Future Funk artist that I would name my favorite of the genre, it would be Desired. And naturally, when listening to a lot of one artist's work, Spotify will start letting you know their newest releases. I heard Love and its follow-up Dead Inside roughly around the same time and thought they were both pretty nice and threw them into my Future Funk playlist, only for Love to be the song that always caught my ear the most. Whether it be the absolute groove or the excessive use of vocal chops, I'm not entirely sure if I can pinpoint where this song piqued my interest all those times, but I can definitely tell you that one massive highlight is right in the beginning. The way Desire chops up the sample to make those vocals just move in between a sonical fabric of frequencies is one of the most satisfying things I have ever heard in all of music, genuinely, and along with that, reminds me of the reason why I love Lost so much. Or in true future funk fashion, when transitioning through different parts of the song, you throw on an effect on the master chain, so on Love, Desire decides to throw on a bit crusher, which honestly just seems like the perfect effect given the cover art and starts to give the song a 90s nostalgia of summertime and video games. The song just passes the vibe check with flying colors and further continues my love for Desire and the future funk genre as a whole.
Number 9, Help Me.
So one day, I was on Google doing the normal Google things when I decided to look up Avenged Sevenfold for whatever reason. I don't know, I've just been getting into their music a lot, but I digress. That's when I found out that they were going to be performing at a festival sometime, and as someone who's never been to an Avenged Sevenfold concert, nor to a festival, that seemed like kind of a neat thing to do. And so while browsing through the list of acts, I was finding band after band after band that I recognized, and then ultimately realized that all this was taking place somewhere in Europe, so that was a no-go. But in my search of bands that I know more than one song from, I stumbled upon one band on that list that either sounded or looked interesting. I'm not entirely sure, but what I am sure is that I'm probably going to have dementia when I'm older, but that's a whole other different tangent. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I found a new band.
Take all of my time, take all your petty lies, holding out for a day on the right side.
Let me be straightforward here. There's not much that I can say about the song, but I'll try to say everything that I possibly can with this, and starting off, that chorus melody is so fucking nut-worthy.
Take all of my time, take all your petty lies.
That right there. That single pronunciation can be attested to as the sole reason why I've listened to the song as much as I have. There's just something about the pausing in between, blending in with Charlie's accent, that makes it so catchy to my weird ears. The song builds up with an intro full of earworms, with this enchanting guitar riff nestled between these atmospheric synths, all wrapped up in a respectful use of a low-pass filter, until it all comes flying apart with the hit of one snary boy, and every sound comprised in the song just comes Superman punching you in the fucking face. I love the vocal delivery of the lead singer, Charlie Rolfe, on here. She trades off between catchy pop-ridden melodies, screaming, and sounding like she's on the brink of a mental breakdown. I even like the subversion of expectations at the very end of the song, where the guitars ring out, and at least for me, I thought they would start dipping lower into pitch, but instead, they just get completely cut off with the drums, and it kind of took me aback for a moment, and I appreciate that. The lead singer said that the song was about the feeling of being dragged down by people who adore you, which, I can't say that I relate to that, but overall, the song is just a banger that I very thoroughly enjoyed. Also, extra points to the music video using a constant use of one takes, because I respect the hell out of that shit.
Number 8, creepy anime video. Most things related to anime are meant to be cute, or at the very least sexual.
So I have a thing I like to do where at night I'll just occasionally go lay in my bathtub. Obviously it's filled with hot water, but it's just a nice way for me to just vibe and relax, and it's the closest thing to a hot tub that I've had in 13 years. There was no reason for me to mention any of that other than to pan the fuck out of the script, but nonetheless, one of the times I took my nightly bath, I was naturally scrolling through YouTube and got recommended a music video. And what drew me to this music video was 1, the man in the thumbnail looked like the pinnacle of metal, and 2, the band name looked like a play on words of an absolute legend in rock and roll history. Needless to say, they did not disappoint.
I can't take this reality, so I'm watching it fall.
I've checked out a couple bits of Fozzie's previous work, and their 2017 album Judas is probably their best body of work that they released. And then this song exists, which continues to further prove Fozzie's improvement. The frontman Jericho stated, "It's been such a tough year in so many ways, but now as the world is slowly getting better, Fozzie is here to vaccinate you with a proverbial phonograph needle and make you want to rock again." As well as the guitarist Rich Ward said, "We were inspired, creating music that had the potential to be the best we'd have ever recorded." And I couldn't agree anymore with both of them. It's honestly a surprise that this wasn't from last year. Then again, not much has changed. The song itself does a pretty good job with changing between different sounds while still ultimately falling under a very nice sonical form and not being jarring at all. The transition between the verse and the pre-chorus is two completely different styles, but feel very natural. And then the chorus comes in just running you directly into a solid concrete wall with an MCI J4500 with Jericho wailing about being on the brink of going insane from the world's 2-year shitstorm, and it's a fucking mood. And then the second verse just goes into this minimalist instrumental with trap percussion that's really weird, but I appreciate a metal band being open to using modern production. I also love during the chorus how Jericho's vocals are being followed with the snare. It makes every word he says just hit a little bit harder. And then there's the guitar solo, which is without a doubt the best part of the song in my opinion, even though it's very short. With the context being a man going insane from the haunting world, it really fits for the solo to be so apocalyptic. I don't know what the hell the guitar player put on his guitar, but it comes off sounding so cold and empty, and it genuinely sounds like the sonic form of when the pandemic first started and you couldn't get any fucking toilet paper. Not that it mattered anyway, given how Taco Bell dropped the fucking Frito burritos. Anyways, because I brought up the music video for On the Inside, I would be doing an injustice to not mention the video for this, where they filmed it on the world's largest roller coaster. And this isn't just B-roll of them on a roller coaster, this is Jericho fucking performing the entire song while riding around on that shit. And someone who is very afraid of heights and despises roller coasters, I applaud the absolute fucking balls to do this.
Number 7, Ghost Girl Head.
This is a very interesting song to put on the list for me personally, because at a point of time, I kind of owned my channel's popularity to this person, and for a reason that I feel kind of bad now because of this. Y'all remember back in 2015 when everyone on the fucking planet decided to make a bunch of videos analyzing some random girl by the name of Poppy because, ooh, she's so weird. Yeah, hindsight 2020, that was a pretty weird time, but nonetheless, in 2016, I was very into Fallout 4, as we've already stated, and after a long session of it, I decided to make a video where I just joked around and said that Poppy was a synth. The video was garbage, but somehow the day I uploaded it, it just shot the fuck up in 30 subs and landed me around like 150 subs. I only know that because apparently I thought 150 was enough to make a Q&A special. Jesus fucking Christ, I was terrible back then. But then again, I mean, I sat around 100 subs for most of that year, so closing it off with that big of a boost out of nowhere was really nice, and I kinda owed it to Poppy for being so weird. Well, turns out that weirdness came from being abused by a manager who forced her into playing this persona that wasn't her in the slightest, just so then they can get views and money. And so in 2021, we got this absolute banger of a song about that abuse. Now do you see why I feel bad? But enough of me speaking about the song, it's fucking fantastic. I couldn't really get into Poppy's previous attempts at entering the rock and metal genre. Despite my love for genre bending, I just could never find myself enjoying much from stuff like the I Disagree album. But then earlier this year, she released a cover of Fear of Dying by Jack Off Hill, and I absolutely loved it because she decided to just go full-on rock, and I think it fits the best for her. Backing up Fear of Dying, which was an absolute relatable banger, was the lead single to her next album titled Flux, and would end up being her. An even darker rock song about her recovering from the abuse that her piece of shit manager put her through. The guitar tones on this one alone are intense, with a sound that sounds so rough and unpolished, almost sounds like a beginner's guitar tone, only it's actually good. Even the intro is kind of weird, with the two different guitar parts being played in each ear. It sounds disjointed and unsettling, which really fits with the theme of the song. Poppy's vocal delivery on here is very smooth and wispy, until you get to the final chorus where she's just belting out these haunting screams filled with years of pain and agony. The lyrics are pretty simple, but effective, showing a subtle and yet detailed glimpse at the kind of shit that she went through around 2015-2016. And I like how the chorus is painted as if it's older Poppy taking care of young Poppy. Also, it's a pretty vague track if you have no idea who Poppy is, so it could be a pretty relatable one for other women who have suffered through abuse, which is always a bonus to a song. Overall, it's a heavy hitter both sonically and emotionally. Fear of Dying was on this list, but with just how dark and different her is, it without a doubt takes the spot.
Number 6, do you wear thigh highs?
Hey, look, another person that was on last year's list. Only this time it's her best song.
Hang 'em high, 'cause you won't take my life, 'cause I ain't got none. So sorry, I'm hardly just getting started.
Finally, I can make this photo a reality. Guh is a fun, lighthearted anti-haters track, which normally I hate anti-haters songs because they try to come off as the haters don't bother me, but writing an entire song about them proves the opposite. But Calliope puts a little twist on that trope and instead plays into the haters and tries to provide them with help. And yes, I can fucking pronounce Calliope correctly now.
Calliope.
Unlike most fuck the haters songs, Callie doesn't come in acting like she's the baddest bitch in town and so above everyone else. Nah, she instead comes in being self-deprecating as all living hell, ultimately telling the haters that they can't say anything worse than what she says to herself.
Try again, I'm wishing you well, but you will never roast me better than I roast myself.
People really hung on to that line, saying that's their favorite from the song, but personally for me, that was a little too basic for my liking, and I more enjoyed this one.
Now let's play a game, shall we go a bit deeper? Who was the best at the roasting the reaper?
The flow she uses in that line is so infectious, just like every other flow used in this entire track. The rhyme schemes painted all throughout the song really lends itself to some very infectious and satisfying flows and even melodies that Callie decides to try out. And you know damn well I'd be singing "Damn, my content's only decent club and I'm the president" like I was a depressed theater kid performing Bohemian Rhapsody and just got to the 2-minute and 29-second mark. The beat is also really unique and ambitious, being comprised of many different sounds. My personal favorites are the what sounds like a guitar,
Wait, skirt to the steez, a
the
little
synth in the chorus,
lot of thoughts, I can't say outright. I've got my chords, you've got your keyboard, and both us got all night.
and the synth bass that's very reminiscent of the 80s.
Force of nature, little agitator, show you how it's done for fun a little later.
It's an overall catchy banger that never gets old about a worn-out, pathetic topic that's twisted into a confidence anthem and is without a doubt Callie's best song.
Dead beats, we like it rough.
Number 5, Don't Leave Me.
As previously mentioned, this band was number 1 last year, and sadly, they're not going to be able to be number 1 this year, but nonetheless, they deserve to be on here.
Tell me if you wanna go. 'Cause I just never get you on my own.
Okay, so starting off, this placement actually used to be Chemicals. I even recorded the entire video prior to the song's release, and now I'm going through to rewrite this particular moment. And, I don't know if I'm gonna regret this in a few months and wish I hadn't changed it, and in 2022, when I do the best songs of 2022, I'll make a statement saying, oh, well, actually, it's not really on the list anymore. Not sure. But currently, If You Wanna Go is far better than Chemicals, and here is why. In my initial recording, I brought up their song Breathe, and how I was shocked to find that I ended up drawing more towards Chemicals, despite how much I listened to the latter, and went on to say that Chemicals was like a blend of Need to Know sound and Breathe sound. Well, If You Wanna Go is basically Breathe, but on crack. Breathe introduced the band to some new percussion sounds, some different flows,
I'm stuck in the water, my neck down to my feet.
and screams. If You Wanna Go takes everything Breathe established and ramped it up to 1,000,000 with these heavy-ass vocal effects throughout the song that, while it makes it kind of hard to understand some of the stuff the lead singer is saying, it still sounds really nice to me.
Restless, when you feel like you just got yourself to vastness.
When he sounded like a transformer, I felt that. The nice Breathe flows are on here as well.
Does it feel good when you're sitting on your throne?
There's this constant vocal chop loop that plays throughout the song. The chorus, while sounding like it's straight ripped from a previous song, hits absolutely fucking hard.
Tell me if you wanna go.
And speaking of the lead singer, If You Wanna Go finds him trying out different types of deliveries to the point that he sometimes sounds like a completely different person, and I'm all for it. There's a part in the song where the drums sound fucking astonishing, like they're just the absolute embodiment of the world. As I've said with every Tropic Gold song I've talked about, it's basically the same song lyrically and vibe-wise for the most part, but God damn, I don't think I've had a song from them be this catchy and this playable since fucking Need to Know. It's a weird catchy banger that makes me so excited for what Tropic Gold has to bring with their EP, given how this is the lead single from it. And, it's fair to say that it may be too early to put the song on the list, but at the stance of me having close to 30 plays and it's only been 3 days at the time of me recording this, yeah, I think it's worth it.
So tell me if you wanna go.
Number 4, Watching Barack Obama.
My favorite album this year was made in 2005. This was on it.
One more time, let me get this through your mind.
You're probably very confused on how a song, and an album, from 2005 made it onto a list for stuff released in 2021. Well, that's because while the Farewell Schizophrenic Love Songs Part 1 was made in 2005, it never got released until the beginning of this year. I only know of this band because apparently their lead singer was Zach Myers, who's the guitar player for Shinedown, and the one responsible for releasing the album. Side note, this entire time I thought he was like a guitar and piano player, but I found out while writing the script that that's his fucking singing voice. Jesus. Anyways, while I love every song on that album, for some reason Untitled was the one that always caught my ear. Firstly, we got that nice intro melody that combines the sounds of an acoustic guitar, piano, and later electric guitar, creating a very unique soundscape, and then it just kicks into high gear during the chorus. There's something so relatable about Zach's wailing on the chorus. There's just something about it in his voice that makes me really feel the emotion and pain that he's projecting while he's bolting out these lyrics about being so painfully in love. And that's another thing that's an absolute mood about the song, is the lyrics. It's no surprise that I would gravitate towards a song about being in love with someone, but Untitled does the whole I'm so desperately in love with you topic in a different way that I'm not really entirely sure how I can explain it, other than just flat out saying, I've never heard the phrase I'm dying to die for you until this song, and I absolutely love the concept of it. The whole song just consists of this painful desperation of love for someone, wrapped in the embodiment of 2005, and I couldn't be any more happier to have it grace my ears. Sadly, since the band is no more, this is the most that we're gonna get in the Farewell discography, but what we do have is absolutely amazing if you've got that early 2000s nostalgia.
Die for you.
Number 3, I Don't Like You.
Speaking of Shinedown, I once got to see them in concert pre The End of the World, and it was without a doubt the best concert I have ever been to. But with every concert, there are the opening acts. And I can only remember one of them, because after they played, I had the sudden boost of confidence to ask out a girl, and then later on I found out that they were responsible for an absolutely haunting and relatable song about suicide. And while that was the only song I ever liked from them, this year they released a new album that included a little track that I could not stop playing.
Don't hate me, don't hate me, don't hate me more than I hate myself.
Don't Hate Me is a song that I heard 2 days after I laid down the vocals for my song Waste, which was about my overwhelming crutch to compare myself to other people's love lives and popularity. A vocal take that I recorded after I got home from work very tired to the point that it felt euphoric to close my eyes, and also taking a massive L in my own love life. So with all that being said, I hope that provides you a little bit of context onto why I have stuck so heavily to this song. Not only does Bad Flower turn such a depressing topic into an absolute banger, but the lyrics are just so incredibly relatable for me personally. Being obsessed with an ex, the absolute dread in your own self, the constant comparisons to other people, all of this under a blanket of semi-sarcasm with genuine dead inside tone and an added dash of anger-induced screaming, and that's how you end up with me playing the song 75 times in the span of 2 months. On the topic of screams, I have to say this might be one of the most relatable and my favorite moments in music this year, and maybe just of all time.
Don't hate me more than I hate myself. Don't let me destroy me.
The scream being used as backing vocals to lead into the heavy instrumentation coming back in, now I have to go change my pants. And while I don't agree in the slightest with the depression makes no exceptions except the rich and sexy, because there are many suicide and depression victims that are rich or hot as fuck, I do understand the mindset of feeling that way though. When you're in your lows, you often look at the rich people or the hot people and compare yourself to them, and then become jealous and angry that you don't have that kind of money or you don't have those looks, and starting to think that if you did, you'd be a lot better off, which leads you into thinking the same way as that line. So in the context of the song, I fully understand, even if I massively disagree. I also just love the sound of the song as well. Like I said, it's such a depressing topic, but Bad Flower went at it in a way of making a really catchy, fun banger that gives me the same effect that Pink Elephant gave me. Just gets me in the mood to just pretend the world around me isn't there, and I'm just a kid in his room with a TV remote as a microphone acting as if he's performing to a crowd. All at the same time, I'm relating so heavily to the lyrics that I'm able to just pour my emotions into my lip syncing. Like I've time traveled back to 2017 when I do the same thing with Logic's Everybody while making a bowl of tuna fish at 3 in the morning. And while I understand that this isn't going to be everybody's cup of tea, personally for me, this song just hits different on levels that not even the finest of anime would hit for Giga, therefore it's my third favorite song of the year.
Number 2, Strange Behavior.
Hey look, yet another person from last year's list. Well, I guess they were the honorable mentions of the songs list and got snubbed the fuck out by my stupidity on the albums list, but nonetheless, they were on lists. And if I thought their work last year was amazing, holy fuck am I excited to see what they got in store after this.
You make my head spin. You know I can't win. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I got a fucking death wish. It's got me head sick. If I can win, I'm losing to a fucking death wish.
126 times. I've listened to this song 126 times. It's my third most listened track on Last FM. Stand Atlantic hit a fucking gold mine with Death Wish. Everything about this song just hits every single kind of mark you can think of. Catchiness? Got it. Heaviness? You bet your fucking ass it's got it. Relatability? Oh hell yeah. Stand Atlantic took what they established with Pink Elephant, an album filled with catchy hooks and banger riffs and an overall sound of, yeah, we're pop punk, but we hit different, and threw that out of the fucking window and slammed onto the table a song filled to the brim with genre-breaking sounds, melodies molded by Harvest graduate earworms, vocal deliveries crafted out of the Koh-i-Noor, production tricks ripped straight out of... You fucking get it, this song is perfection in sonic form. It starts off amazing, with you only being able to hear Bonnie's vocals, and with the lead of format-shifting backing vocals that sound oh so satisfying. You get a trap beat that does not prepare you in the slightest for the absolute head kick of a rock riff that you get. And speaking of Bonnie's vocals, her vocal delivery on here, no, scratch that, her whole ass voice on here sounds so incredibly immaculate. The rapid fire flows during the verse and delivery of such drained mentality.
Think I'm losing something that I didn't know I could have.
The sharp sonical form of all things shiny during many parts throughout the pre-chorus and chorus.
Kissing the knife. I don't know what I'm doing.
And while there are moments in the song where it really sounds like there's a heavy amount of autotune on it, I don't mind in the slightest. In fact, I respect the decision to not give a fuck about the pussies in the rock community and deciding to throw autotune on vocals. And even if there's no autotune on the chorus like I feel like there is, then that just goes to show the absolute talent that Bonnie has, and nonetheless it sounds fucking amazing. I'm also a massive fan of format shifting. It's something that sounds really satisfying to my ears, and they use that effect extensively in the song, and it ends up just adding an extra layer of ear candy to this already full-on wedding cake of a track. Not sure if that metaphor even worked, but fuck it, there's only so many ways that I can say the song is fucking amazing. Oh, and then there's a scream towards the tail end of the track that just... And the entire song benefits from being only 2.5 minutes, making it so easily replayable. There is a good amount of songs that I've really enjoyed to the point that I wore it the fuck out from all the playing I did that eventually I get sick of hearing it. But I feel like very rarely do I come across a song that I can hear on repeat over and 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 never once get tired of it, with the top two being Not Dead Yet and Enjoy the Silence, with the latter being something I spent an entire night dreaming about because I listened to it that much. Death Wish is a song I can confidently add to that list. I don't think I will ever get tired of the song. It is just that fucking amazing. Stand Atlantic hit a home run with this that it seemed like it would have been impossible to follow it up. But then they released Molotov, which left me absolutely fucking speechless, and I still can't come up with words to describe how that song made me feel on my first listen, or even now on my, 10th or 15th listen. So, whatever the fuck this band has in store for their third album, I am sitting right in front of the door of the control car on that fucking hype train.
Number 1, Christmas Eve.
Now, to be completely honest, Death Wish sat at the number 1 spot of this list the very moment it came out, and it was there for a while, even when I put this next song on the list. And for a good bit, I tossed back and forth on whether or not the song belongs at number 1. I mean, it'd be snubbing Death Wish out of first place, a song that we've already established how much I fucking listen to it. But there's just something about this that just felt right to put as my favorite song of the year. Doki Doki Literature Club is a game that I came at very late. So late, in fact, that I first played it this year. Somehow, I went that 4 years never hearing a damn thing about it, so when experiencing it for the first time on a series of live streams, everything hit exactly the way it should have.
Fucking Monica.
And while I enjoyed my time with it, I was never able to say that it was one of my favorite games ever. It was a fun game, and I enjoyed its writing and execution and the fourth wall breaking, but it wasn't anything incredibly special to me. It was just a cool game. And then an exact week after playing it for the first time, it was announced that the game would be getting an extended version with a new side story plot added. I thought, fuck it, why not? I enjoyed the original, let's see what this is like. To give you some context, and this is going to get very serious for a moment, trigger warning for suicide, I have a very deep insecurity about my opinion, stemming from many experiences I've had of feeling shunned or being belittled for having an altering thought. It began when I spent my first year of high school feeling incredibly alone because nobody that I knew in real life had the same liking as me. Got really bad when a fan base that I was in so deep that it felt like a second family turned on me for not liking an album. Then got even worse when I got treated like I was lesser than the people around me because I thought a popular movie at the time was just and got so bad that I almost ended my own life because someone close to me would seem to actively spend every day for weeks just belittling me for having a different opinion than him, even going to lengths of saying that I wasn't a normal person because I grade my reviews based off of purely enjoyment, as well as sending me like 15 fucking articles trying to prove me wrong. And I've given the Cliff Notes version of a lot of this in the past, both in videos and music, but it is genuinely something that I continue to struggle with to this day, often getting really defensive and picking fights with people all because my brain will render a simple message as an insult towards me. I say all of this because when I sat down to play the fucking prequel storyline to a game about a fourth wall-breaking dating sim, I did not expect for a plot to be so relatable and so specific to my own struggles, that most of the story is surrounded by Natsuki's insecurities of her liking of manga, being treated as if what she likes is lesser than what the majority likes, and that she's not valid for liking the things that she likes. Getting constantly made fun of for it, getting really defensive and acting out because of it, and eventually coming to the conclusion of dropping the toxic friends while Monica and Yuri learn to accept Natsuki's likes and even give them a chance. Overall, spreading a message of letting people like what they like and to be respectful about it. When I played through all of this, I sounded like a fucking broken record to my friend because so many of these lines and plot points just resonated with me to my core that it genuinely felt like Dan, the creator of the game, stalked my life and based the entire story around my experiences. Only one band, and I mean like one form of media, has been able to give me that feeling, and that's a band I get shit for liking. So what does any of this have to do with me putting Dusk as my favorite song? Well, it's on the soundtrack and plays during all the very emotional moments throughout the story, including one that I almost cry to, so it's easily become my favorite song from the game. But what elevated it to being my favorite song of the year is just how transcending the song is. Listening to the soundscape this track has genuinely transcends me into a world where I'm just floating through clouds to the rhythm of the song. The heavenly harp, the deep euphoric bass, the gentle breath, the graceful melody, all things that just come together in harmony. When that piano melody comes in, it feels like I'm hopping from cloud to cloud in an atmosphere of pure euphoria. And the song is structured in a way that it's only working with 2 chords and the occasional melody, that it's kind of reminiscent of Guts' theme to the point of not once losing its absolute beauty throughout its shy of 3-minute runtime. It's a song that, while being completely sober, makes me feel like I've been sent into a blissful world where all my stress and problems are gone and I get to just float through the sky, bouncing from cloud to cloud, feeling a soft breeze against my face. All of this defies logic, but who gives a fuck? This song is the pure definition of beautifully calm. This shit rivals Wings of Kinnereth when it comes to gorgeous soundscapes. Dusk is a song that, on its own, does a lot for me in my mental health, but with the added context of the game it comes from, it just feels perfect for me to say that it is my favorite song of 2021, and one of my favorite songs of all time. To make up for how fucking depressing this video got, here's some funny shit that I experienced throughout the year to end this thing off, and a personal thank you to the people who have supported my content throughout the year. It was pretty shit, given how I've gone through many mental problems and lost both Konako and my grandpa at the beginning and end respectively, but seeing videos of mine hit very good views, and my channel just overall being probably running the best it has in like the fucking 7-8 years that I've been doing this shit, getting supportive comments towards the content itself, and comments specifically saying that while they might disagree with like every point that I make, they still enjoy the video and respect the effort I put into it. Just shit like that means a lot, and it genuinely gives me a reason to continue making videos. I kind of stated on a recent track that I made that there have been many times because of my past, or because of the past year, that I have thought about quitting YouTube. But the supportive comments, the support just in general, like really gets me to continue going. I kind of make that shit for that. I wish you all a great 2022 and just a great life in general. And if you're struggling with anything, I know it's a cliche thing to say, but you matter. You truly do. You may not think you do. Trust me, I completely fucking understand. But you have a purpose in this world. Alright, now for the haha funny moments. Take care.
Alright, I'm recording now.
Okay. So, women shouldn't have rights.
Why does he look like a fucking anti-cigarette commercial? I don't like this.
How's this happen?
We're playing the America map, the gun shop. Fun fact about America, we don't have homes, we just have gun shops. Jonas, get in. What? What? Given the fact that a penis is a penis, it's basically just skin.
Pussy's gross.
Yeah, they said that, oh, go and heal him. How the fuck do I do this?
You've never gotten fucked in the ass. How do you know it's painful? I mean, I've had a butt plug up my ass before.
I'm gonna be retarded. And jump out the window. Primary attack, vomit. Alright, boys, I am drunk.
Oh, hot.
know if I'm going the right direction. Ah!
It was my ass you shot.
I don't think Keemstar's at all confident that he can fight and beat me. And that's fair. He's like
Yo, he
5'6"
should fight
or something
Leafy.
like that. If you guys have any other
I wanna see him fucking fight
influencers
Leafy.
in mind that wouldn't wimp
no,
out
no.
on a
Tana Mojo.
Yes! Yes! I want to see him fight Tana Mojo.
Yo, I would pay money for that bitch to get beat.
Floor it, V.
I'm gonna throw a propane tank at you.
Even. Oh my god.
Yo, but that man do be kinda eating me out, so he'd be a hero. Oh wait, no, heroes don't do that. He's a villain.
Now, here's a question for you, and I want you to answer honestly, because I'm not going to judge you no matter what you say. What would you do if I came over to your house, like, randomly one day, and I was genuinely down to suck your dick? Would you let me? Like, I was 100% like, I want to suck your dick. Would you let me?
No, it would just feel weird to me. Now, if you were, like, a complete stranger, that would be weird, but I probably wouldn't be opposed.
I don't
So
think
this
you
has
would
to be,
let...
like, 11th grade when I first met you. Obviously, it's still, like, not age-wise. I mean, the look.
You wanna fuck... You're a pedophile. You wanna fuck a 17-year-old Cameron, fucking pedo, fucking rapist.
Call me Carson. Wow, I had a stroke.
Call me Carson.
I can survive. I will survive. Or I will not survive. Or you fucking. I will not survive.
Shadow's dope. I always liked him, even though I'd never fucking gotten Sonic.
I know I'm dope, bro. You ain't gotta tell me.
Oh, fuck you!
Gotcha, bitch. Love you.
I hope your girlfriend fucking gets you right onto the edge and then leaves the house.
Fuck you. Suck my dick, you stupid bitch. Good night, whore.
And of course, everyone has their own opinion, but my opinion is the best opinion. I'm sure you figured that out already.